Hey YouTube, Jay Kilroy here. Got a little project, something a little unusual, maybe outside of the mainstream for a lot of you, but I thought you might find it interesting. Working on a box today, a NEMA enclosure, stainless steel NEMA enclosure. Got to punch some holes in the side of one, and I'm going to use my Greenlee hydraulic knockout setup, and I just wanted to kind of demonstrate how a setup like this works. You could also title this video why you need a hydraulic knockout set. If you do a lot of this kind of work, this is a serious lifesaver. So let me show you the box, the victim. We're going to be punching the hole in, and then what we're going to be punching the hole with, and we'll go through the process on how to use a hydraulic knockout set and why it's a lifesaver. Alrighty, here's the box. This is a 36 by 30 by 12 Hoffman box, stainless steel. It's about 100 thou thick or so. I believe it's a 304, maybe a 316 enclosure. Really doesn't matter. How you like the graffiti? This box has been to the field already, and we're reusing it. And this is where we want to put a 2-inch hole. We need to pass a piece, well, actually bigger than 2-inch. We need to pass this piece of PVC pipe through the side of this box, where it's going to join up with this rather large piece of PVC pipe. And I've already got a guide hole here drilled. This is where we're going to go. And so we're going to use the hydraulic knockout set to punch us a hole right here in this location. Alright, here's the knockout set. Notice my name displayed prominently on the box. These things are expensive, and it's definitely something you want to be real careful with on a job site if you're working with a bunch of different contractors. So let's get to going here. So what we have here is a manual set up to 4-inch. I mean, it's a hydraulic set up to 4-inch. And so you got a few different parts here. You got the hydraulic pump. It's very similar to like an inner pack pump or a any type of remote hydraulics, power puller and stuff like that. Here's the actual cylinder, puller cylinder, and then these are the various knockouts. The one we're going to be using for this piece of PVC, this is it right here, and these are you know, sized by conduit size or pipe size, and this is for a 2-inch conduit or pipe. And you see the way these things work, just like a die, pulls through, the point's cut, pulls through against the female here and cuts. Now you probably noticed on the guide hole doesn't start out this big. This is the pull stud right here that you would normally run this through the guide hole and then thread this on the back, hook it to your pump away, pulls them together, and you're in business. But the guide hole's not that big, so we need to work up to it basically. And how do we do that? Well, let me show you. What we do is we take this smallest knockout here, and we have some more parts in here. We have a adapter stud. We feed this one here, right like that. Then we take these spacers and we drop these spacers on. Then put this on, feed this through the box, thread this on the back, hook our pump up, and we'll go to town. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted on the box, and then I'll fire the camera back up and show you the punch process. Alright, I've got the stud running through the wall here, the actuator cylinders on the back side here. I'll show you that in a second. I've got the cutter threaded as far onto the stud as I can. I have the hydraulic cylinder and the hydraulic pump ready to go. I do lubricate, especially when doing stainless, and I use the mythical castor oil Molly D. You know, that stuff's so good that when you use it for tapping, you can turn the tap backwards and the hole turns out okay. I've heard all sorts of crazy stories. Anyway, let me carry this over here and show you the hydraulic puller on the back. So here's the hydraulic puller set up on the back right here, and it feeds through, and the pull stud is coming through, and there is the cutter. Alrighty. Zoom in a little bit here so you can get a grainy but somewhat effective shot of the process. So the hole is cut, and take the pressure off on my hydraulic unit. Take the cutter off here, and there are the two pieces. Hold on a second. Here are the two pieces. The cutter that I was using, you see this style here with two lips, cuts the slug into two pieces, which is extremely handy when you're working with stainless. There's another style, which I have one of here. This style, it just has a couple of peaks. It doesn't actually cut the stud, it bends the stud so the diameter is smaller and it can come out of the die. Little comparison there. This style that cuts the stud is far superior, especially when doing stainless steel. So now what we're going to do, now that the big hole is cut through, what we're going to do is we're going to get the larger cutter and we're going to set it up. Let me go ahead and get that set up, and we're going to cut that hole. So we're not going to need the adapter stud any longer, this piece. We'll leave one spacer on, and we'll go ahead and lube up our receiving die. Go. Feed it through the hole. Well, let me get that. Let me get this cutter here lubricated. Mainly just this edge, but it helps to just Don't spare the lube. So go ahead and feed that through the hole. Move the dial on as far as you can, like so. And go ahead. Go. Take the pressure off the cylinder again. Now this, you'll see, is that different style. It just bends the sheet. See, bends it into in a couple of places so that its diameter is smaller so they can go out the hole. That's that. That is how you use a hydraulic knockout set. If you do a lot of this kind of work, if you do a lot of chassis work on boxes like this, these things are lifesavers. The Molly D, especially using stainless, makes a real big difference. So anyway, let me get cleaned up here. Be right back with you. Alright YouTube, there's a quick demo on how to use a hydraulic knockout set. You don't have to have a hydraulic one. They do make the same types of sets. They use bearing and a bolt here that you can do conceivably some of these larger sizes, but it'd be difficult. I do use that type of size in the field a lot when I'm working remote, or if I'm just limited to sizes below 2 inch and non-stainless steel enclosures. A couple things I wanted to pass along. Good deals. This apron here, 42 inch with a swinging chest pocket, waist pocket. McMaster car part number 5257T4, made in the USA, $9.95. Can't beat that. My other one was getting a little nasty, so it's hanging up over there. So I got a new one. I got my Ox Tools pin prominently displayed here. It's got the what I refer to as the hook rule pocket. And has a nice size, a double wide waist pocket, and it's American made for $9. About can't beat that. After watching some A-Bomb 79's Adams videos, he was using these little integrated one-piece magnet mount indicators, and I said, that is neat. I want to get me some of those. And I looked around and found that none of the, I guess you would say, respectable tooling dealers, Michitoyo, Starrett, none of them market something like this. Or at least this base. So I found this base for sale at Shaw's for $2.95, and it's a what it is. It's a plastic encased magnet, permanent magnet, and then it comes with this back with a stud that screws into it here, and you can adapt this back to a wide variety of plain dial type indicators. So anyway, great deal, another great deal, great tip from A-Bomb 79. Check out his channel. And if you need to punch any holes, remember, lots of times these types of pullers or knockout sets are available for rental in your larger cities from electrical supply places or industrial supply places. So you don't have to go out and spend what, you know, new, something like this is probably $1,500, right? If not more now. I can't imagine. But if you just want to knock a couple holes, go to an electrical supply, industrial supply place, and rent one. You know, I mean, what's it going to cost you? You know, $30 for the day or whatever. Well worth the money spent, and save you a lot of heartache and grief. Plus, it gives you a very clean, crisp, on-size hole with what was, as you saw, very little effort. And sure beats trying to hole saw 2 inches in stainless, or use some kind of rinky-dink hand drill hole cutting setup in 100,000 stainless. No thanks, right? This is the way to go. So if you do a lot of this kind of work and you don't have one of these, well, you know, make the investment, because it's a serious time saver. And anyway, back to work, and I'll be back with you with more projects and cool stuff soon.